All right, time to work on the 360 again. I got the rings. I checked the gap on all the rings. We're within 18 to 22,000, so that should be good. I tried a couple here and a couple on the other side. So we're gonna put the rings on the pistons and start putting the bottom end together. Let's get to work. How the oil ring goes over. I crossed them over the bottom one, and then the other top one I put it across from each other, and the actual ring on the middle there, it's probably ended up somewhere over here. But that's the first oil ring. Now we got to do the second and the top. So let's get on with that. Have a little dot right there. You want to make sure that that dot goes to the top of the piston. You don't want to put them backwards. You want to put the dot up. Sometimes they have a beveled edge. You could see it barely down here on this edge, but just go by the dot there. You'll be fine. To go through the first groove onto the second one, but the top groove should be a lot easier to do because you don't have to go through two grooves to get to where it needs to be. So once we get all these rings in, we'll put these aside and we'll get to putting the crank on. We're using clevites, and these are ACLs. Those are the rod bearings right here. These are the main bearings. You don't want to touch the surface of the bearing, the riding surface of the crank, with your bare hands. Just try to get them on the outside here. You'll be fine without touching that. Usually people wear gloves or stuff, but just try not to touch the bearing surface and you'll be okay. Well, the main bearings are on the block, and what I always do is I put a little bit of the seal out, and then in the other piece actually you'll have a perfect seal around these edges here. It will not leak. You can never have too much of this stuff on the mains, especially on a rebuild like this. I mean, it's just added security, and that way you'll eliminate any dry starts or anything like that. Plus, I am gonna put a bunch of this stuff in there anyway as well, and the braking oil I have is loaded with zinc. So let's put the crank on and we'll install the bearings on the main caps right there. Here's a good tool you want to have This here holds the degree wheel, and this goes right in front of the crank snout right here. And what this will do, it will allow you to rotate the assembly much easier. And let me show you how that is done. It's got a set screw right here just to hold it in place. Much easier to spin. All right, let's put the main caps together, and we'll put them on there and start torquing them. I usually put a little bit of silicone there, sealant on there, but I'm going to put all the caps together, and I know that the crank on the mains, it's 20 under. We just had the crank polished, but I'm still going to check it. I'm going to set all the caps, and then we'll take them off again and put at least check them with a plastic gauge. It's already been mic'd. It is 20 thousandths under, so I know a lot of people don't like to use plastic gauge, but that's just a little bit more assurance for me to know that it's within specs. Got my old Mopar engine book here. I bought this back in the 90s. You can see it's the old logos on here. I had this many years when I worked at the dealership. There's a lot of notes in here that I have. I just try not to remember what the torque specs are. I'll just look them up here, or you could go on the interweb and find out. But let me find where the torque is for. Oh, okay, that's the note that I put on there. Small block, LA engine. I know it's in here somewhere. Anyway, I'll find it, and we'll get the torquing the main caps on. I already done checked the clearance. We're within 3,000s clearance, so that's perfect. Doesn't need a lot of tightening or anything else to do on there. But I'll find the torque specs. I believe it's 85 on the mains. But let's see here. Haven't used this book in a long time. Valves. Oh, let's see what this says here. Oh, those are cams. Okay, here we go. Crank. Oh. Yep, 85. It's 85 on the main caps, 45 foot-pounds on the rods. These are 3/8 bolts, so we could probably go to like 45, 50. I'll read up on this and make sure again. But they're 85. I'm gonna torque them down, and like I said, I already checked the clearance on these. This is fine, and you can see the crank is spinning freely. There's no binding on there, so I know that is. Another thing is this crank is internally balanced. You can see the mallory metal right there. And on this side here, it was cross-drilled, chamfered. It's a cast crank, nothing really special about it, but it's already balanced. And like I said, I already got the balancer for that, and I got this neutral flex plate as well. Got me the set of rockers. I believe they're either crane or comp. I don't remember, but they are roller rockers. And I got the push rods, the cupped push rods for those. So it's gonna be a good running motor. We're gonna put this cam set up here. Right there's a part number. There's the oil pump. So we're gonna wrap it up on this one here and start off putting the pistons in. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day. Be safe, and see you next time. If you like this video, hit the like button or the thumbs up button. If you don't, do that one. But tell me in the comments down below, see what you think of this build I'm doing. It's basically a stock rebuild with a little bit of performance on it, and we'll get it going somehow. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day. Be safe.